Hello students, in my last video we have discussed about vernier calipers, we have discussed about screw gauge, and today we are going to discuss about simple pendulum. Okay, you must be knowing about simple pendulum. You must have seen in your wall clocks, pendulum is there. It's the simple construction of simple pendulum. It consists of a string which is attached to a heavy mass, point mass you can call it, which is known as bob. When this bob is released from this side, it starts moving like this, to and fro motion. What is this motion known as? To and fro motion, right? So today we will discuss about this. Now can you see this? Just a second. This is a simple bob I have made just now. Simple pendulum. Can you see this? Yes. This is an example of simple pendulum. This is a string, weightless string, and this is a point mass. Now when this point mass or bob is released from one side, see the motion. Coming and going, coming and going. That is also known as to and fro motion of the pendulum. Right? Can you understand this? This is known as its length, it means string, and this is a mass, bob, which is known as bob. Now, this position of this simple pendulum is known as mean position. What is this position known as? Mean position. Now, when this moves to this side, displacement takes place. This distance from the mean position to this side, this point is known as amplitude. This is known as amplitude. Now see, again it comes into the motion, which is known as simple harmonic motion. Right? Now there are some related terms. Now see the diagram. This bob will move like this, and then it will come to the other point. This is known as one extreme, this is known as another extreme, and then it will come to its mean position. So this completes the one oscillation of a pendulum, right? Moving from one extreme, then going to another extreme, then coming back to the mean position, right? So this is how the motion will take place, right? This is known as simple harmonic motion or motion of a pendulum. Now there are some related terms. First one is time period. What is time period? What do you mean by time period? It is denoted by T. It is denoted by T. Time period means time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation. To complete one oscillation. Greater the length will be there, greater will be the time period. Smaller the length will be there, lesser will be the time period. Right? So time period depends on length. Now, so understood this time period. What is time period? It is time taken to complete one oscillation. The unit of time period is seconds. Now, what is frequency? What do you mean by frequency? Frequency means number of oscillations in 1 second. Number of oscillations in 1 second, and the unit of frequency is hertz. The unit of frequency is hertz. There is a relationship between time period and frequency, that is T equals to 1 upon F, or F equals to 1 upon T. Both are relations, right? The unit of frequency is hertz. The third term is amplitude. What do you mean by amplitude? Denoted by small a, and the unit is meter. Amplitude means maximum displacement from the mean position. If it goes till here, that means its amplitude will be till here. This distance will be measured as amplitude, right? So amplitude means maximum displacement from the mean position. This position is known as mean position. Mean position, right? Mean position. And this is extreme position. mean position and extreme position. This is known as amplitude. Now we discuss on what factor time period depends. Time period, the square of time period is directly proportional to the length of the pendulum, right? The square of the time period is inversely proportional to the acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so we form a formula that is known as T equals to 2 pi under root L upon G. This is the basic formula for finding the time period, right? So these are the terms of simple pendulum. You can take one example for solving a numerical. Suppose the length 1 is 4 meter and length 2 is 16 meter. What is the ratio of T1 and T2? You have to find out the ratio. So we can write like this: T1 square upon T2 square will be equal to L1 upon L2. Put the value. L1 is 16 and L1 is 4, sorry. L1 is 4 and L2 is 16, which will come out to be 1 by 4. So 1 by 4, that is T1 upon T2 whole square. This implies that T1 upon T2 will be equal to under root 1 by 4, which will come out to be 1:2. That means the ratio of two time periods will be T1:T2 will be 1:2. Thank you so much, class.